Good morning. My name is Rose, and I am going to start sharing some stories, just kind of going over my experience with a narcissist. I'm not a clinician, I'm not a psychologist, I have no psychology really severe background. But I'm going to go over stories and just kind of relay my truth and my reality to hopefully help you heal as you go through this experience as well. If it's someone you know or someone you love who may be in the same situation, you don't understand why they're not escaping. There's a cycle, and there's a reason why it's so hard to escape. Now, I'm an empath, so I get I have a lot of empathy, and I also have a lot of women's intuition. It works really well for me, but I also am very passionate, which means my heart gets really stuck, and so it's very difficult. So I'm going to share a story today. I'm going to just kind of share a picture really quick with you. This is me. I'm going to talk about how I got that way. So a few years ago, we were at a store locally or nearby, whatever. So we're going through. He gets a phone call. He gets on his phone and he walks away. Like literally, I couldn't find him in the store anywhere. So I get out and I walk to my car. And I thought, oh, well, maybe he went to the car. He left the grocery, everything there. And I knew it was a female voice on the phone, right? Which, yes or no, you know, started out as, hey, how are you? It's been a while. And then I turn around and it's gone. So I don't know what was going on. I don't even know who he's talking to other than it was a female. And now he's gone. So I sit in the car and I wait a good, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 minutes. And finally he shows up and he's livid, right? Where are you at? Why were you gone? I couldn't find you. I'm like, I couldn't find you. I'm like, no, it's because you left, And so he starts blaming me, okay? Never mind the fact that he got a phone call from a woman and left the store for a good 15, 20 minutes. So I'm like, whatever. I don't really care. I just want to go home now. I'm done, right? At this point in time, I'm done. And then we get in the car, and he slams the door as hard as he can, just pissed off, trying to break the glass. He goes, I want you to take me to that gas station over there. No, I'm not going anywhere but home right now. That's where I want to be. I want to be home where I feel safe. I don't want to be anywhere near you because he's mad. He's calling me names. He's really going excessively overboard. Because everything's my fault. And it was my fault that he got a call from this woman. And it was my fault that he left for 15, 20 minutes and left me in the store. And I didn't buy the groceries and leave and load the car and whatever. And I sat in my car. And he's lucky I sat in the car because personally, if it was the old me, who's not the age I am now, I probably would have just drove away. Like, I called you, I texted you, couldn't find you. I would have just drove away. Like, I don't need to go to no gas station to use the bathroom. Like, what do you need to use the bathroom for? Where have you been? To me, a normal person would have said, hey, you know what? This is my old boss, or hey, that was my mom. Nothing. That wasn't what the conversation was about. The conversation was about how bad I was, and how I couldn't be even a good girlfriend, right? So we're driving home, and he's still just going off. And as I'm driving down, for those of you who know where I live, Carpenter Road, it's a fairly busy road. There's 2 lanes going each direction and then a middle turning lane. And Home Depot's on there. There's gas stations all over, grocery stores. There's a lot of industrial on there. There's also crosses a couple freeway now. So as I'm driving down Carpenter Road, he's still arguing. And he's about ready, it looks like, to slap me because at this point in time, I didn't realize he was a narcissist. So I'm arguing back. You're going to call me out of my name? Boy, I'm going to go, my anger's at a high level, right? And then you're hitting things in my car. And I'm like, you can just get out, right? You don't have to be in the car with me. Like, no big deal. Like, I have nothing to lose by you leaving. And at that point in time, he turned and like he was going to swing at me, right? So I slightly moved. He grabs the Jack in the Box bag because we had stopped for breakfast. And he hits me. And in this, that's where this is quarter pounder with cheese in the eyeball. Yeah. Little pieces of onion, Big Macs, or whatever that magic sauce is on it. Whatever else was in that bag ended up in my eye. And then he attempts to kind of like hit me again with the bag. Now I have Jack in the Box stuff, like the stuff that didn't get in my eye, because, I mean, this guy's very well built. He's very physique. He can easily pick me up. And I'm not exactly a slim young lady, okay? So he easily, bench presses 250. No big deal. So that Jack in the Box bag came at a lot of fast. And it came with a lot of energy. And whatever didn't hit me went onto the windows. So now I can't see out my window because stuff ricocheted out of my face as well and landed on the windshield. So now I have sauce and hamburger and lettuce and french fries down all over places french fries shouldn't be, okay? So it's all over. So I immediately pull over because I can't see anyways. And I'm on a freeway or a really busy road. And as it's going, I'm just like, son of a biscuit. And then I'm freaking out. I am crying. I get out of the car, pull over, and I'm crying. I'm over behind my car. No one calls the police. He gets out and starts just belittling me. And then he comes over and spits in my face, right? Calling me names and saying how weak I am as a woman because I can't just shut up and listen, okay? Mind you, I have food on my face. I know I'm bruised, right? No one in the neighborhood called. Someone did finally walking by. He goes, do you need help? I said, yes. And then this narcissist gets out of the car and looks at him, and the guy takes off across the street, like literally runs away. And I'm like, thanks. You can't even call like 911? Like, dude, what do you think he's doing to me? No one. And you feel alone at that point because no one wants to help you. And I'm sitting there looking like that. I'm trying to wipe my windows clean. And he's like calling me these names saying, hey, you FB, give me your keys so I can drive you home and leave your crying ass, weak ass, whatever, here. So he wants to take my keys to my car that I fully paid for, that I had before him, and drive home and leave me there. Oh, hell no, right? So I have to gather myself, right? So I'm trying to gather myself because I have to get home. I can't be here crying hysterically on the side of the road, being yelled and cussed at by this man. So I get home. I gather myself. Silent treatment at that point, all the way home. He doesn't talk to me for like a week, which is fine because I don't even want him in my house anymore. Yes, I pay 100% of the bills, but he won't leave. But then what they call is, with a narcissist, from gaslighting to rage, goes back to the hoovering and the love bombing. So this is where he won't admit guilt. He won't admit that he has any feelings. But this is where he started making dinner. Went home and or was it the same day? It was the next day. Don't think that day he didn't have rage like the whole day, like a good 24 hours. And then he starts making breakfast or lunch. And then he starts cleaning the whole kitchen and vacuuming and doing everything that his ass should have been doing all along. And the reason why I share this story is this is just one of hundreds. And this should have been my red flag. But at the same time, that's how I looked. And I keep this picture with me as I struggle to get out, to remind me of what I looked like that day. The struggle and the pain that I had. Again, that's just one day. That's just one incident. And I was with this man for 7 years in this house. Mind you, I had a house before and we were there. He was only there 6 months. I was just like, done. And he left. He separated. Again, the hoovering brought me back in 3-4 years later. But he does have that. And a narcissist do that, and I didn't know that. So when you leave them, eventually they need you back. They need that supply. They know they can control you. And he did. And he knew that I have that love for him because I give 100%, at least. And I feel bad for anyone's situation. And I always do what I can to help. And so, he did get me sucked back in and got me back into this situation. But I want to let you know that, this is just one of many stories. And it's going to take time to get out if you're in that situation now. And if someone's in it now, please know that there's a cycle and it goes quick. So we went to this from rage up into, where he's spitting on me and hitting at me until he's, saying, I'm you're not going to apologize. He's not going to say he loves you. He might, depend on, how badly, if he needs to get that control over you. But he's going to start cooking for you in bed, asking, hey, do you want to take a shower? Hey, do you want me to, run to the store to get dinner? Because I know you don't want to cook. And it's like, wow, maybe he has changed. And, he will do always that finger pointing. Don't think he won't turn it into your fault. Well, if you didn't leave, if you just would have waited in the store for 20 minutes and didn't ask me who I was talking to, this wouldn't have happened. You got a call from a woman. And I thought we were in a committed relationship. Like, I pay 100% of all the bills for you and you work part-time. And actually, for a while, he wasn't even employed. I covered everything, including the food that he was eating, the body wash, everything he needed. And then you still do this? So if someone's in it, please understand, especially if they're empathic, an empath like myself, where they're very connected with their emotions and very feeling, and they understand, and they really want to help people. They're very passionate. It's going to take time. Because one is my safety. Because yes, this happened. And I have many more experiences just like that every time I tried to escape. Every time I told him he needed to leave. Or he just straight out ignored me. Violating a restraining order. Violating everything he can. So please, it's, people are like, why didn't you just leave? It's like, I can't. He knows everything about me. He knows where I work, my social security number, where I keep my checkbook, my bank accounts, where I save my password. He even had the password to my laptop, obviously, because I didn't have anything to hide. So just keep that in mind. So if they're going through it, they just need a cheerleader to help them get to the end. Because you know what? The end may seem very far and maybe even impossible. I will share some more videos as I go through and kind of gather the stories. But I just wanted to let you know that there is help. You will get through this if you're in it. Be a cheerleader if you know someone in it, because the stories are real and the experience is real, and no one knows what happens behind these closed doors. No one knew about this because it was in my car on Briggsmore or Carpenter Road where I live. So no one knew what was inside my car. My windows were rolled up. It's cold outside. It's in winter. So no one really knew until I got out of my car. And even then, people are going, 55, 65 miles an hour. They weren't really seeing, they can't see what's going on. And Jack in the Box sauce was, I think it was like an orangish color. So it kind of blended in with my skin. It wasn't like it was, red tomato sauce or something where it actually looked like I was bleeding. And then when he spit in my face, you can't see that when you're going by at 65 miles an hour. But those are real. This is a real experience that happened to me. And I just want to share with you that, it does take time. I just didn't have the strength to get out and help myself, but I'm doing that now, and it's helpful sharing my story and letting these stories be free and take life and leave my memory and my soul, because they're forever there, and let them into God's hands, really, or the world or whatever, so I can heal from them and move forward. So much love, everyone. Be safe out there.